Boker Tov, everyone. Chodesh Tov. Continuing along in the Shemes umagen Yoreh Deah Siman Yud Tet. So after the laws of kashrut, there's various laws in Yoreh Deah, and one of them is Brit Mila. So Rabbi Shalom Asas addresses an interesting question. If a person gave his child a Brit Mila at night, so what is the status with that situation? Because the pasuk says, "Ubayom hashemini yimol b'saror lato." On the 8th day, a person gets his Brit Mila, and we learn from there that it has to be in the daytime. So what if a person had a Brit Mila at nighttime? It says, there's a Mishnah Masechet Megillah of Chaf that says, "V'lo malin ad shetenetzach chama." Brit Mila, it can be done from sunrise and onwards, from netzach chama and onwards. And then the Mishnah continues, "V'kulam she'asu misha'ala amud hashachar kasher." But if you did it from dawn, from amud hashachar, it's still kosher. So the earliest time it's called day amud hashachar, it's still considered day, and it's still kosher. But best is from sunrise and onward. But nighttime is not kosher. So what does it mean that it's not kosher? There's Brit Mila is a type of mitzvah. It's a one-time thing. After the Brit Mila is done, that's it. It doesn't grow back or anything like that, right? So says Rabbi Shalom Asas that, like this. He says that if a person gets a Brit Mila at nighttime, the mitzvah was not fulfilled. Mitzvah was not fulfilled. The commandment was not fulfilled, but he is not considered an arel. He's not considered someone that's uncircumcised. He's circumcised. And he's not going to get karet, because if a person, God forbid, passes away uncircumcised, there's karet, or there's different ways how to look at it, or every single moment after 8 days that he's not circumcised, or every single moment after he is an adult and he's still not circumcised, could be he's in the status of karet. But regardless, he says the karet is not here because he's still considered a circumcised person, but he didn't get the mitzvah because he didn't do it in the right way. Even b'di'evet mitzvah, he didn't get it because it was not kasher when the chituch was done. He says so too, and he goes even stronger. And on this, people argue that so too, not even hatafat dam brit will help. Even if afterwards a little prick to get out the dam brit, which we do, let's say by a ger, what will be the difference? By a ger that, let's say, did a circumcision with a doctor, whatever it was, before he converted, and now converts, so we do hatafat dam brit. So one could say, well, the circumcision was done, call it not kosher, and now maybe hatafat dam brit shouldn't help. He says no, because it was done, he was not commanded to do so. And now he's commanded, okay, he doesn't have he doesn't have a Brit Mila because he was already circumcised, so we do hatafat dam brit. But if a person did it in a way, like at nighttime, where it was, and he was a Jew already, then according to Rabbi Shalom Asas, not even hatafat dam brit. On that, some people argue, and really to do it, hatafat dam brit there's no bracha. So to fulfill all opinions, it would be best to do hatafat dam brit. And he says similarly, is the same halacha would apply if a person would have a Brit Mila within 8 days, not just at night, but within 8 days. On the 8th day, he's supposed to have it. You did it earlier than 8 days, so the mitzvah is gone, but he's not considered uncircumcised. He's considered circumcised. The difference would be, let's say, for sure, for karet and korban pesach, a person who's uncircumcised cannot eat korban pesach, but a person who is considered circumcised, he doesn't have the orla. And what would be, last point, what would be after 8 days? So the 8th day, that's when the Brit Mila is. What about now after 8 days? It's not on the day that the pasuk says. So, of course, most of the time when it's after 8 days, it's because it's an ones, because the kid was sick, whatever it is. So ones, Rahmana Patre, the ones, Kadosh Baruch Hu, it's an ones. It's a case where it's not in your control. So the mitzvah is still there, and if in a case of ones, probably the mitzvah, even the chatchila, is still there. But even if it's not an ones, as long as if it's after 8 days, the mitzvah starts at 8 days and on. Now, if it's in your control to do the Brit Mila, but you didn't, then again, it could be in a situation of karet. But we still say Asher Kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. We still say that you commanded us, even if it's after 8 days. We still say the bracha, and therefore it's probably a b'diavad after 8 days if it's not a case of ones, but it's still a mitzvah. Last point, just thinking about it, if God forbid, in time, let's say World War II, etc., where mothers were holding children and wanted to circumcise their child before, if the child would get killed or whatever it is. So let's say it was nighttime, or let's say it was before 8 days. So still, one should do the Brit Mila because at least the child is not an arel. At least the child is circumcised at the end. Did it get the optimum mitzvah? It says 8 days. It says not at night. But if that's the only situation they have, in a case of war, meaning if they could push it off to the daytime, if they could push it off, then certainly push it off to the daytime, push it off to 8 days or after 8 days. But if that's the only situation they have, because they're afraid for their life, oh my gosh, the Nazis are coming, whatever, we got to do this now, it's nighttime, or it's before 8 days. So they say, oh, should I not do it? No, better to do it, and at least the child is circumcised, and at least the child's not an arel. No bracha, of course. That's what I would assume, and in those situations that we don't want to experience. Okay, that's that for today. Mincha tonight at 5:35. Have a good day, everyone. Shabbat shalom and chodesh tov.